Fellas, welcome back to the channel. We are in for a full day of eating. I'm pushing body weight at the moment. Calories are north of 5,000 a day. It ain't easy, but we're getting it done here in Bali, even though you probably wouldn't believe we're in Bali because the weather is awful. So let's get into this. Let's grub. So first meal, for those of you that don't know who I am, I'm a nutritionist from the UK, obviously based in Bali at the moment. In a past life, I was pursuing bodybuilding. So this was back in sort of 2017 to 2020 and a half. Back then, I was trying to be a pro bodybuilder, using anabolics, as you do when you embark on that endeavor. And the biggest I got up to was like 225 pounds, and I had to sink a fuckload of food to get there. There was one push, I was sinking 7,000 calories a day, which was, yeah, pretty traumatic to say the least. Now, as you can see what I look like, not pursuing bodybuilding, but still trying to stack on a little bit of size that I lost having come off anabolics back in mid 2020. And yeah, pushing back up the scale now. So currently 205. Sort of still 20 pounds lighter than the biggest I was, and that was like 5 years ago as well. So it kind of just shows how much anabolics do help this process. So yeah, in terms of food at the moment, today is a rest day. Total calories are still over 5,000. But what I will say is, from someone who used to be a really skinny guy, eating this amount of food for me now is actually quite easy. The reason why is because you have to train yourself to eat this amount of food. Over the years, back in the bodybuilding days, obviously, as I just said, I was pounding a lot of food, and that allowed me to gain the appetite that I have to this day. If you are new to this process, you've only been doing it a year or two, you're probably gonna find that, you know, getting that food in is difficult if you are a naturally skinny guy that doesn't have a big appetite, which is what I used to be like. But as I said, from pushing body weight over the years, you accumulate the appetite, you train yourself to eat the food. And this is why, as I said, I can eat over 5,000 calories a day for months on end now, and it be, you know, relatively easy. So yeah, first meal, we have 3 whole eggs, 4 egg whites. We've got a tiny bit of coconut oil just to lubricate the pan, some cottage cheese and some pink salt. And then we've got an absolute mountain of sourdough. We've got half a loaf here. The reason why I eat so much sourdough is just because it digests really well for me. It's an easy carb source. This is like 250 grams of carbs just in this. And then I've also got some grass-fed butter on the bread as well. And this goes down super easily. The time now is 9 AM. So time to grow up. Okay, so meal two. This is Whey protein isolate, oats, blueberries, banana, and some pink salt. Even though calories are north of 5,000 for me at the moment, I'm still not really needing to blend my food, which is good. So I'm still eating this meal, and I will eat my other oatmeal as well, as you'll see later on. What's probably useful to know is how I generate the appetite that I do. So obviously training hard helps profoundly, because the more kind of demand you're placing on the body, the more of an appetite you will generate as a result. Now, in addition to training, what I like to do is walk between meals. 10-15 minutes will suffice. You don't need to do crazy big walks, but this really helps, as I said, to generate an appetite as well. What I'll also do, which I haven't done today so far, is use apple cider vinegar. So I'll use about 15 ml, 15 or 20 minutes before a meal, just to stimulate stomach acid, because this will help you to break down food and utilize it more effectively. So walking, apple cider vinegar. I don't really use digestive enzymes just because I don't feel like I need to. So that's not something I typically tend to advise, because I find my guys don't need to as well when they do the walks between meals, the apple cider vinegar, and obviously be training hard as well. Another component of allowing your appetite to stay high throughout a push is ensuring that you manage stress. As you probably are all aware, if you're stressed to the gills, your appetite will undoubtedly descend. So manage your stress, and this is how you're going to keep that appetite on point as you navigate a push. Okay, third meal. We just went to the gym, boxed some content. I had a couple of reels to film for Instagram. But yeah, third meal is 200 grams of chicken breast, some bell peppers, onions, mushrooms, a little bit of coconut oil and some salt. This is cooked by my lovely chef that I have out here in Bali. Shout out to Annie. And then I have this with 4 wraps. These wraps are processed. The profile in terms of ingredients is not ideal, but what I will say is, in regards to processed food consumption on a bulk, it is obviously useful to implement a little bit of processed food at times, just because from a caloric perspective, they typically provide a lot and not a lot of food at the same time, so it allows you to get the calories in. This being said, try to limit processed food consumption as much as possible on a bulk. These are pretty much the only processed thing I eat on a daily basis. And the reason why I try to limit processed food, even though it's great from a caloric perspective and allows you to eat a lot of calories easily, processed food will drive inflammation high. And inflammation is something you really need to keep in check as you ascend up the scale, because if you become chronically inflamed by pounding lots of processed food, not connecting to nature, not getting a lot of sun, all of that good stuff, then shit's gonna hit the fan with your progress. Because when your body's chronically inflamed, it's sympathetic dominant, which essentially means your nervous system's going to be jacked up. And if your nervous system's jacked up, your immune system's going to be jacked up, and your body as a whole is going to be rocking. So you want to be limiting that processed food consumption at all costs. So I try and keep my diet as clean as possible. Even though I need to eat a lot of food, it's still super tight. So yeah, 4 wraps, chicken, easy meal. Time to grub it down. Okay, 4th meal. A little bit behind schedule. The time is 7:30. This one normally goes in at 6, but it's a check-in day today. So yeah, I got wrapped up in check-ins, which is why I'm actually eating out for this meal as well. Normally I'll eat this at the villa. But anyway, in terms of the meal, we've got mahi-mahi fish, which is Balinese fish. I tend to alternate between this or steak, like a strip loin steak. With this fish, I've got jasmine rice. I ordered some additional jasmine rice just because obviously this little serving is not enough. And then some sauteed vegetables. Super easy meal, 850 calories. So time to tuck in. Last meal is going down, which is actually the same as meal 2. Whey protein, oats, salt, banana, blueberries, a little bit of honey. This is the whey protein I'm using at the moment. I don't know if I showed that earlier, but yeah, it's Kevin LeBron's version. For those of you that watched the last video as well, this is the tea. I slightly adjusted, cut the ham, cut the sleeves as well. In my opinion, looks better now. But anyway, this meal's going in a little bit later than planned. It's 10:30 at the moment, so this one normally goes in at 9. So pound this, and then it's time to hit the sack. Right fellas, full day of eating, boxed. Hope you enjoyed the video. 5,000 calories, 5 feedings, same again tomorrow. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.